All right, here's your lesson for today. All right, so first thing you need to do is to get up, get your calculators, and also go and get a little piece of scrap paper. Okay, so we're going to do a warm-up, and the warm-up is going to be graded. All right, so go ahead and pause. I want you to get up, clear your desk, calculator, your notes from yesterday, and a piece of paper and a pencil. Okay, so go ahead and pause while you do that. All right, so first thing we're going to do is on your paper, you're going to write down these 3 problems. Okay, so teacher, you can pause, let the students write these 3 problems down. And then I'm going to give you an example of each of these 3 problems. Then I'm going to give you 3 problems that are similar, and you're going to do them by yourself. No doing it with a partner. You're going to do it all by yourself, and then you're going to turn that into me, and I'm going to grade it. Okay, so that'll be your first grade for today. All right, and then after that, I'm going to have you do some notes, and then you're going to work out by yourself. I'll give you some I'll give you some other examples, and then you'll go ahead and practice what we've been learning, and you'll hand that in, and you'll do some more tomorrow. Okay, so let's go ahead and just kind of review the 3 things that we've been learning: adding and subtracting exponents, multiplying, and yesterday we learned the power of. Okay, so first, adding and subtracting. Okay, so adding and subtracting, we talked about you do not change the variable or the exponent. What you're looking for is combining like terms. Okay, so let's look at this here. We have a 2x squared y plus a 3x y squared minus a 6x squared y. So if we look at this, we see 2x squared y. Is there another x squared y? Okay, we look here. This looks like that, but it's not exactly because the square is on the y, so it doesn't match this exactly. It has to match exactly. A negative 6x squared y matches this exactly. So I'm going to put a box around this one and a box around this. And notice I put the box around the negative as well. So these 2 go together. So what we want to do is look at the coefficients. 2 minus 6. What's 2 minus 6? Negative 4. Okay? And then we put down the x squared y, because that means we have negative 4x squared y. All right? And then I like to cross them out when I'm done. All right, what's left? The only thing left is a plus 3xy squared. So what we do with that is we just bring it down. Plus 3xy squared. And that is simplifying it. We are done. All right, and that's how you add and subtract. You combine like terms. You do not add these together anymore. You just leave them like that. That is the answer. Let's go to multiplying. Here's my example. Now, when you multiply, you take the coefficients, which in this case are both 4s, those are the bigger numbers, and you actually multiply those together. So let's go ahead and do that. 4 times 4, 16. Then you look at the variables and the exponents. You can only do an x with an x, so let's put our x down first. Okay, and then in this case, when you multiply, you add the exponents. So 2 plus 3 is 5. Okay, let's go to the next variable, y. Put the y down. Look up at the top of the y. I have a 3 here that represents y times y times y. And how many y's do we have here? A 1. So 3 plus 1 equals 4. And that is your answer. Okay, do you remember how to do both of those? Okay, the new one we learned yesterday is the power. A power to a power. Okay, first you want to see if you have a coefficient. If you do, you don't multiply these 2 numbers. You take this coefficient and you raise it to the 3rd power. Remember, take it on your calculator. First you put your coefficient in there, and then you use the little caret. 3 raised to the power of 3. Okay, what is that? 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. Okay? So this raised to the 3rd power is 27. Now, put your first variable down, m. These numbers, the exponents, are multiplied. 3 times 3 is 9. Put your next variable down, n. 5 times 3 is 15. And that is your answer. That's how you do those. Okay, and now, like I promised, you have 3 examples. Make sure you have those down. If you don't, you can pause and let everyone write those down. Okay, I am going to unveil your 3. You're going to write them on your piece of paper, show your work, and instructor give them 5 minutes to complete the assignment. Give them time to write it down first, and then set the timer for 5 minutes and collect them, and then we'll go on to the next part of the lesson. Okay, here you go. All right. The next lesson that we have is on geometric applications. All right, so this is taking everything we just learned, and we're going to apply it to how to measure geometric applications, which is basically we're going to do it with a rectangle, a couple different types of triangles, and a couple other shapes down here. All right, so what we're going to do is, first of all, I wrote all the formulas here. Okay, I wrote them on the side here, so you won't have any. This is a trapezoid, and this is a circle. All right, so when you do take your test in April, they will have all the formulas for you at the beginning of the math test. So you don't have to memorize all these, and that's why I wrote them down for you. So as we go along, it'll be zeroed in on each of these, and I'll explain them to you. So the first one that we have is a rectangle. A rectangle will have shorter sides and longer width, okay? So what the perimeter is, they want us to find the perimeter and the area of each one of these, okay? So instead of just a regular number on the side, they also have a variable and an exponent, all right? So, but we still find it the same way. The perimeter is 2 times the length plus the width, okay? Because we have 2 of each of those. We have 2 sides here and 2 sides here, okay? So let's write P for perimeter, okay? And we're going to do 2 times the length, right, which is 12x, right? So we're going to we have 2 of those. We have one here and one here. They're both the same size. And then we're going to add that to 2 times the width, okay? Because this side is exactly the same as this side. Okay, does everybody agree right there? Okay, so that's going to be 2 times 5x squared. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is just go ahead and multiply each side. What's 2 times 12? 24. And then we have to bring the x, right? Add that to, what's 2 times 5? 10. And remember, we also have the x squared. All right, so that actually is your answer, because now we have an addition sign. And remember, we can only add like terms, and these are not the like terms. So this could be our answer right here. We can't simplify any more than that. All right, let's look at area. Okay, so the formula for area is width times length, or some people say length times width. Either way is correct. Okay, so the width, 12x times 5x squared, okay? And we've been doing these all along, right? So what's the first step when we multiply? We multiply the coefficients. What's 12 times 5? 60. Okay, now we have to do the x's, right? So when we multiply, what do we do with the exponents? Remember, there's a little 1 up there. A 1 plus a 2 equals a 3. Okay? So basically, we're doing the exact same thing we've been doing on all the other papers, only we're applying it to this geometric shape. So what you have to know is the formula, and that's why I wrote them by each one of these, okay? So this is a type of a triangle. It's called a scalene, okay? Scalenes have 3 different lengths of their sides, okay? So to find a perimeter, you just add up all the sides. Okay, so here's the perimeter, add A plus B plus C. Okay, so for the perimeter, let's just add up all the sides. So we have 4A squared B. Okay, then we have 10A squared B, and finally 3AB. Okay, so if you recall, when we add sides together, when we add numbers that have exponents together, we can only combine like terms. Do you see any like terms here? Okay, I think I see two. We have this one here, correct? 4A squared B and a 10A squared B. So I can combine these two together first, but I can't combine this one because it doesn't have a square on the A. So 4 plus 10 is 14A squared B. Okay? And then I just have to bring this plus 3AB down. And that's my answer for perimeter. Okay, so now area. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with finding the area of a triangle. One way to do it, there's a couple different ways. One way to do it is 1/2 times the base times the height. There's another way where you divide, but since we didn't learn how to divide exponents yet, we're going to do the multiplication way, okay? So we're going to do 1/2 times the base times the height, okay? So the base is 3 times AB, right? Or 3AB. And then the height is 4A squared B. All right? So if you put that all in your calculator, you can do this first. You can do 3 times 4, and you have 12A to the third, and then you have 2 B's, right? B to the second, right? Put that in a parenthesis, and then you have a 1/2 still on the outside. Okay, so what's 1/2 times 12? Okay, if you used your calculator, 1/2 times 12, you would get 6, and then you keep these the same. A to the third, B to the second. Okay, and now you have another triangle. Only this triangle is an equilateral, okay? Even though they didn't give us a measurement for all three, what do you know about an equilateral? Yeah, they have 3 equal sides, okay? So what you can do is 3 times A, 20 m to the third, n to the fifth, to find the perimeter, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. What is 3 times 20? 60. And then we just keep the rest the same. Because you know, 3 times this number, you could add them all up. 20 m to the third, n to the fifth, plus 20 m to the third, n to the fifth, plus 20 m to the third. You still would get this exact same thing. All right, it just takes longer. All right, so area of a triangle, same thing we did up here, okay? So we're going to take 1/2, and we're going to multiply that by 20 m to the third, n to the fifth, and we're going to multiply that by the height, okay? So the height right here is 4mn to the fifth, okay? So we can do the same thing again. We can do 20 times 4. And what is 20 times 4? Okay, it's 80, right? Now if we want to go a little faster, we can do 20 times 4 is 80. Okay, and then times that by 1/2. What's 1/2 of 80? 40. And then just copy m to the third, and a 1 is m to the fourth. And we have a 5 here, plus a 5 here, is a 10. Did you understand what I said when I said that? So you could just put it all in your calculator like this. 1/2 times 20 times 4, and you would have gotten 40. Okay? And then we still have to take care of these. We have m to the third, and since we're multiplying, a third plus a 1 is a fourth. 5 plus 5 is 10. Okay? All right, 2 new shapes down here. All right, now this just says find the area, so we don't have to worry about the perimeter.